Oh, oh. Welcome to Meaningful Morning. In our community, one of the most important Seva teams we have right now is our diverse growth team. This is the team that is thinking about how we can infuse the secular with the sacred. One of the first engagements this team organized was our self-development software. This software was presented as installing balance. That's what we focused on this year. Next year will be a different focus and so on. As one thinks about software, when new software comes out for your computer, for your phone, your firewall, you have to download it and then upload it. Download it, it's in a file on your computer, but upload it means it then spreads to your computer, affecting the hardware, the user, and so on. What I'm sharing is accurate thus far. See, I don't know because I never download software. When my phone says there's a new update, I always say tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. My computer's always in the red. Nothing is up to date. For us, what we do is we download Upadesha. In English, Upadesha means advice. Shri Krishna has given a whole lot of advice. We've been exposed to other advice, like tips for happy living, making sense of stress. Downloading Upadesha is not enough. One then has to upload this Upadesha. It has to spread through the ego, equipments, experiences. Then the Upadesha evolves to become Vijnana. Vijnana means personal knowledge or wisdom. In Meaningful Mornings, we do download Upadesha and we try to be inspired enough to upload Vijnana. When I was living in the ashram, we studied Bhagavad Gita's chapter 16 from July 25th to July 31st of 2007. That's 1 week. We covered 24 verses in 1 week. We have already completed 10 days on chapter 16. We are slowly flowing through this chapter, through this entire map. That way, we can truly reflect on this advice. When one moves in a fast way, one has a propensity to deflect. If you quickly look at your teeth in the mirror, you may not see that there's some tea there or broccoli or whatever, but if you slowly move in front of a mirror, you can see if there's anything in your teeth more. Slowly helps us to truly reflect. You will know you are truly reflecting when you feel there are less conditions on your self-development. What I mean by that is, for some, you may have grown up with the condition that self-development is when you retire. That's a condition. For some, you may feel self-development relates to Sanskrit. That's a condition too. I was recently at our bank making a deposit for Chinmay Mission Niagara, and the teller was of Indian origin. He saw my name, he saw my tattoo, And so we got to discussing about Chinmayadhara, our ashram in Niagara Falls. And he says, so what do you do there? Do you chant mantras? And I said, we do, but we try to study mantras so that we can practice this. And he shared, he is a heavy non-veg eater. Okay, his words, okay? A heavy non-veg eater and a heavy smoker. And so, he doesn't think he can come to Chinmayadhara. And I shared, when you come into our ashram, we don't check what you ate in the morning or what's in your lungs. If you are a heavy non-veg eater and a heavy smoker, that's more reason to come. Then he was telling me that his mother told him to never bring Mahabharata into his home. His parents live in India. He's living in Niagara Falls. How many of you grew up the same way? Don't bring the Mahabharata in your home, because then there will be fights. But what's also in the Mahabharata? The Bhagavad Gita. Yes? He was telling me that he's not allowed to wear tulsi malas, again because of his lifestyle. Now we're sort of giggling about this, but we have our own conditions. I'm too busy. I have other responsibilities. Ours are worse. His at least are objective. Ours are subjective. We'll see if he comes. If I did enough self-development software with him. In the last verse, Sri Krishna shares, those who are loud, they don't listen. Those who are filled with aggressiveness and laziness, that is asuri sambatti, na vidu. They don't listen to life, so they don't know about how to be organized and so on. Sri Krishna shares more insights into the dangers of being selfish. Verse 8. Asatyam apratishtam te jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara-sambhutam kimanyat kama hetukam. Joy. This is a very insightful verse, very indicative of the state of society. The one, and I'm going to start with the last word in the first line. Okay, that's the way to understand the full verse. Ishvara means creator or God. A really powerful word in Vedanta is Anisha. Anisha means the one who has no God. Now there's two narratives to this. The powerful narrative, the one who has no God is God. Okay? So the word Anisha, Anish, means the one who's experiencing the highest. There's nothing higher. Clear? So all of the Anishas and Anishas you know, their parents probably went in with this narrative. But Anishwaram or Anisha or Anish also means the one who has no God, which generally we define as in atheists. Very clear, very relevant. For them, they, Jagat, as they go about moving in this multiverse living, there is asatyam. Asatyam can be interpreted in a high way, like to them, their understanding of existence awareness is not clear. And so relatedly, apratishtam, this can be interpreted as they have no foundation. We can feel this in a relative way, that if I don't feel there's existence awareness, I will always feel that I'm different than you. If I don't feel that you and I are one, I will never care for you the way I care about myself. I'm going to share that one more time. An atheist is one who does not believe in the absolute, and so that affects how they live in the relative. I'm trying to zoom into this. I love myself the most the way you love yourself the most. If I don't believe in the absolute, that means I don't believe I'm existence, nor are you. So if I'm an atheist, I can care a whole lot about you, but I will never care for you the way I care for myself. That's only possible if I believe in Ishvara, that there is an absolute, and that affects how I live in a relative way. So far, so good? Then what? Aparaspara sambhutam. This feeling of being an atheist or only believing in that which is perceived. Some commentators have described Anisha as being a materialist. What they perceive, that's real and nothing more. How did they become like this? Aparaspara. It is through interacting with others like them. Sambhutam, this feeling came from, I'm going to qualify this as dussanga. The wrong-minded engage in wrong thinking. When I associate with the wrong association, I get into wrong thinking and wrong development, and I go about my life living selfishly, which means I am the most important. All revolves around me, not the other way around, where I am part of the whole and I am to revolve around the whole. Still so far so good. Please try to contextualize this. How many years ago was the Bhagavad Gita written? We don't know. Let's say 5,000 years ago. On a weekly basis, you meet someone who's an atheist, a materialist. It's popular. See how Sri Krishna knew this was coming. Kimanyat, when someone has such a limited vision, kama hetukam, their purpose, the cause for why they do anything, is kama. Kama means pleasure. I had mentioned that earlier, that someone who's a materialist only believes in their senses, and so sense objects. One more insight about this. As atrophy happened from the beginning of creation to now, when creation was closest to the Creator, we had 4 purposes in life. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. 4. Position, possession, pleasure, peace. In every age, one of these purposes dropped off. In Treta Yuga, Dharma went away. In Dwapara Yuga, some say Artha went away. And so in Kali Yuga, what's one's only purpose? Pleasure. Shri Krishna is sharing this. Pujaswami Tejomayananda had shared, the one who's indulgent, the one who feels that they're nothing more than this body and so live for sense objects, the indulgent are enemies in 2 ways. Firstly, they're an enemy to themselves. When you overeat, who did you harm? You can't sleep as well. You can't wake up as well. You have a tough time in the bathroom. Too many details. And secondly, they're an enemy to this multiverse. The indulgent are consumers, not producers. From inspiration to application. Your application was to watch and listen to the song Underground by City and Color. How many of you did this? Good. See, now you're into folk rock too. One of my favorite lines in this song is, I'm tired of running and moving life around. The escapist is always trying to move life around instead of changing themselves. But he's tired of that. When we are tired of that, we will stop trying to expect from others, and rather we will expect from ourselves. Your application for this morning. If you were an atheist, how would you be different? Please try to feel for the next 24 hours that you are an atheist. What would be different about you? Then tomorrow when we meet, you can come back to being a theist. Shanti, 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 be joy.